Welcome to the 2020 BrewTubers Online Brewers Club Yeast Experiment. Brought to you by our proud sponsors. Woody's Homebrew Store. Use code BrewTubers for 10% off your entire order and get free shipping on any order over $58. Go to www.woodyshomebrew.com. Imperial Yeast, a half stainless steel mash panel sponsor of the BrewTubers Online Brewers Club and official yeast provider of the Yeast Experiment. Imperial Yeast offers brewers of all sizes access to world-class yeast and the best possible customer and technical support. Be sure to grab a pack or two now at your local homebrew shop or Woody's Homebrew. And lastly, Hopsteiner, the official hops provider of the 2020 Yeast Experiment. Get brewing.
What's up, guys? All right, so this is my very first 2020 Yeast Experiment beer review. What I have here is from Hokey Homebrew. This is the Yeast 1450, Denny's favorite. I've used Denny's favorite before a while back. I'm trying to remember what I did. It had to have been an IPA or something, but yeah, I remember enjoying it, and I guess there's a reason why it's Denny's favorite. So let's go ahead and get into it. Never had one of his beers, so wow, I'm spilling it like an idiot. All right, I'll stop there. It looks like I might be dumping some of the gunk in from the bottom. Yeah, looks like mine. Looks just like mine, actually. So yeah, you can see there I got about a finger head. It's a really nice finger head. It's like big bubbles, little bubbles. It's a lot of creamy bubbles, and it's the kind of deep gold color that at least my beer was, and it's not surprising because it's the same recipe. So nice looking beer. Okay, let's go ahead and get an aroma. Really nice aroma on this one. Don't think I'm getting some hop aroma, but I think I'm getting a pronounced yeast aroma. Not in a bad way, a really good way. It's not peach. It's like a stone fruit. It's like a stone fruit. Maybe almost like a cross between a stone fruit and melon. Kind of a candy kind of smell too, kind of a sweet. So yeah, I'd say a sweet stone fruit, melon, kind of like a honeydew melon, not like a regular watermelon, but like the honeydew melons, little small ones that are, you know, that kind of thing. But it's very, very pleasant. So I'm gonna assume that's the yeast that's kind of bringing that out, because mine didn't really smell like that. Yeah, it smells very nice. So cheers to you, Hokey Homebrew. Let's go ahead and get a taste. So the bittering's about the same, very clean fermentation. But man, when you drink it, you get a little bit of the, for some reason now, the 4-MMP, and maybe it's because when I drank it, it knocked through some of that head. And I'm getting a little bit of dankness to go along with the melon characteristics. God, this is the very first one I picked, and it's like really, really good. This is going to be a good experiment. Yeah, that's how I would describe this one. You know, when you smell this one, you're surprised when you taste it, because the bitterness is, obviously it's an IPA. It doesn't initially, it smells like a pale ale, like it's not going to be as bitter. Because the melon kind of stone fruit characteristics are more present. And then when you taste it, you're surprised that the bitterness is, you know, as strong as it is. I mean, not that it's any stronger than anybody else's. It's the appropriate bitterness, and it's not off-putting at all. It's very good, very well balanced. Just surprised because you expect it to kind of be less bitter, more sweet based on the aroma, because the aroma is really interesting on this one. So, yeah. It's really well balanced. I can taste the sweetness is like very rich, and it blends perfectly with the bitterness on this. This is really, really, really nice one. I'm assuming it's about 7%. It's about what it tastes like. 7.2, something like that. 220, 221, whatever it takes. But yeah, this is super good beer. I mean, if they're all this good, scoring from like 1 to 13 is going to be really, you know, it's really going to boil down to you know, what yeast quality you like the best. You know, I know there's some 644 coming up. There's some Voss. There's some Hornet All. So we're gonna have a wide variety of the yeast is. Mine is supposed to be the canvas, you know, because it's supposed to be the base. And I think that holds true on this one, because this one has that, man, I'm gonna have to go back now and look at what Denny's favorite is supposed to give you, but once I read it, I'm not gonna be surprised if it says stone fruit, tropical, melon kind of flavors, because that's what's jumping out on the aroma on this one, and I don't think it's from our hot bill. I think it's accentuated by the yeast. So Hokie, man, this is a freaking awesome beer. Thank you. Thank you for doing the experiment, and thank you for giving us such a wonderful sample, and for me to start off with. Cheers. All right, Yeast Experiment 2020. This is beer number 2. This is Wally Fex, WLP 644. Don't think I've ever had that before, unless Wally sent it to me. I know he brews with that quite a bit. Firm temp 75 for 3 days, 85 for 5. Cold crash at 45 for 4 days. Starting gravity 1062, final 1014. Let's get into it. No sports because of this damn coronavirus, so what's a man to do but sample beers? We got some haze going on, so all right, got a nice head. It's a little bit lighter in color, I think, than mine and the first beer that I drank, the Hokie Brews. A little bit lighter in color, and like I said, it's got some good haze to it. Imagine that's the flocculation maybe for the 644. So yeah, so there's the appearance. I got about a 4-finger head. It's a very pretty, very pillowy head that I really like that. You can see how it's got some big bubbles in there. Not just the creamy bubbles like I get, but you get some of those different size mixed bubbles. I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of elusive for me. It's hard to do that. Okay, all right, let's see. I'll go ahead and try to get aroma here. All right, so I'm starting to get down to the beer. This is it's a weird one. It's a very yeasty characteristic, almost a little bit on the phenolic side. And based on the aroma, I thought I was going to get kind of like a yeast off flavor kind of taste, but I didn't. The taste was like really, the aroma, or the flavor is like super good. The aroma's weird. I mean, I'm not a BJCP judge, so the descriptor on the aroma might be wrong, but I call it phenolic. It's kind of like when you ferment at too high of a temp and you get that kind of, is it fusel or phenolic? I don't know. I don't know what the right word is for it. But it's kind of like the slight Band-Aid kind of quality. I don't know. It's kind of like that. It's like a hint of like that, but not really. I don't know. It's kind of hard to call. Maybe that's the funky character that I just don't know how to describe of this 644. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like a funkiness that I'm misperceiving as what I normally get when there's like a fermentation flaw. Yeah, because I don't think there's a fermentation flaw. I already taste it, so let's go ahead and get a taste. It's hard for me to describe. I can't put a food description in terms of what the aroma is like on this one. So. Yeah, I don't know. This is a hard one. I'm not really, the taste now that's kind of blending in with the aroma. I can't say that 644 is my favorite one. It does kind of have that musty kind of quality that it reminds me of Brett. But the beer, it's coming through really dry. It's not as sweet as the malt backbone, at least in mine, and the one I had from Hokie. Yeah, I don't know. It almost like the 644. This might work in something that's got more gravity in it or something. But I think the the kind of funky quality of it is overdriving it a little bit. If that's just the way I don't perceive it, I don't know. Yeah, this one's a hard one for me. Not my favorite. I mean, it's good beer, but I don't think I'm a fan of whiskey or of is it WLP White Lab 644? Don't think I'm a fan. As far as the rest of the beer, carbonation's awesome. I can tell that what the beer is supposed to taste like, but the 644 is kind of masking a little bit. In my opinion, it gets in the way of the hops, it gets in the way of the malt. It kind of overdrives everything. So I don't know, Wally, if that's kind of what 644, if you got the same impression or what. But it would seem to me that this beer would either need to be in like a saison or an imperial version of this, so that you get more sweetness to kind of round it out. So I will leave it there. Cheers, guys. Holy crap. I just had to make a trip to the grocery store to go get some what do you call it, solution for cleaning my contacts. And it's like freaking Armageddon there. There's like zombie preppers running around, people trying to put in 1-cent coupons, and old ladies kissing each other, like near the mouth. I mean, like old ladies with white hair that have no business like hugging and kissing each other in the middle of the store. So anyway, the good thing about doing a yeast experiment in the middle of a pandemic is if we run out of food, we're good. We got beer. Isn't beer what got people through the plague? I think it is, because it was sanitized, right? You boiled it. So this is for the 2020 yeast experiment. This is Portly Gentleman's version. He's from looks like he's from Fillmore, California. He's using Imperial A15 Independence. Looking at his numbers, 1064 OG, 1013 final. He was 6.69. I think mine was like 7.2. We're all there around in the same area. He brewed on February 8th, dry hopped on February 20th. He kegged on February 21st, and canned on February 27th. So yeah, there we go. Fermented at 68 degrees for 7 days, and fermented 70 degrees for 2 days, and then 39 degrees for 4 days. So that's what he did. There we go. All right, listen, you know what I like about Portly Gentleman? He gives you a portly amount. This is gonna, whoa, this is weird. Whoa, how does this work? This is strange. Oh, you pull the top off like a crowler. Wow. That's something you don't see every day. I was like, how do I get this thing open? All right, let's see how this pours. Oh, all right, there we go. We'll pour this in. And like I said, yeah, it looks just like all the others. You know, nice head. Thank you. Thanks to the recipe. I think we had some carapils in there, right? Same color, a little bit of haze on this one. Yeah, I can't really get anything on the nose right now because the head's so big. I'm still not getting a ton on the nose. I do get, you know, mainly the hops. It's not like the first one I had. I can't remember what it was. Or Denny's favorite, which was like big melon, big tropical fruit. So now I know that it definitely was Denny's favorite that caused that strong fruit aroma, because I'm not getting it on this one. I can taste the hops. I'm gonna taste a little bit of the foam. But yeah, I mean, it's when I say it's not giving off an aroma, it's, yeah, I smell the kind of hop, general hop character with the Centennial and the other type of hops we had in here. I might be getting a slight citrus, I guess, but I probably, once I drink it down a little bit and get some headspace in here, I'll probably be able to smell a little better. So, cheers to the brewer. My man can brew. Wow, this is a good beer. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit more. So I'm getting some little bit of dankness. I'm getting that kind of, garlic kind of quality that you get from 4MMP. Yeah, very classic West Coast kind of aroma on this one. Wow, this is a really good beer. Okay, a little bit of slight stone fruit now. I'm starting to get some more of the aromas now that I've gotten this headspace in here. But folks, let me tell you, this dude can brew. Kind of weird can you got going on, but man, this dude can brew. Yeah, it was a good descriptor on the aroma. Now it's with the Form MP. Yeah, getting a lot more of the dankness now. Oh. So I guess what I take from this Independence is it seems to be really, really close to like Chico yeast in terms of it's really clean. I don't think, let me see, this final gravity was 1013. I was going to say I don't think it finishes as dry as a Chico. It leaves a little bit of residuals because I can taste a little bit of the sugars in here, but 1013 is, you know, I guess mine was 10, what was mine? I can't remember what mine was. I think it was 1009 or something like that. Yeah, I was a 7.2%, so I'll have to go back and look at it. But this one does have a pretty good malt backbone in it. God, this is really good. But yeah, I guess that's my opinion. My I guess views on this one is it's very hop forward. It's good if you want to present the hops. This particular yeast, it seems very clean. It's almost like Chico yeast, although it seems like its finish is a little less dry, a little sweeter, which I like. I personally like, but not. I mean, it's still got the good bitterness in here from all the hops. Just, man, so this is a 6.69, is that what he said? Yeah, 6.69. This is a ton of flavor in here for a 6.69. I mean, I would almost think this was a double IPA. I mean, it tastes about like it's a 7.5, 8%er. And trust me, I can tell the difference. So that means he packed a lot of flavor in here. It is really, now that I got that head burned off, it is really pushing the hop aroma on this thing. It's going to be fun. I'm not going to look up any of these yeast. I mean, I'll know some of them because I've had them before, but I'm not going to look up any of these yeast as I go through. I'm just going to kind of give you my honest, blind opinion on them. It'll be fun to go back and look at all these videos and see how close I was to what the yeast was supposed to be providing. But we're gonna tell you what, I'm happy I got that pack of Imperial yeast in my fridge because I know what I'm using. I might use it to make old school next. I mean, this is a damn good, clean bittering yeast. Very hop forward, very clean. Absolutely no, I don't want to say no yeast character, that sounds bad. No yeast qualities in the fermentation. It's so clean. Just a super good IPA. Again, this is another one that I could go, oh, now it's clearing up a little bit now that it was a little bit of chill haze, so it's a little bit clearer than it was when I first opened it. So guys, when you guys film yours, if you haven't already filmed yours yet, drink them slowly and talk about them because you'll notice that the haze kind of sets out because it's chill haze on these. And I imagine they'll all be kind of the same because we all use the same recipe, except for those yeast that have, either high flocculation or low flocculation. Is that the right word? Flocculation? I don't know what it is. Meet the flockers. Man. Dude, I bet you don't have this in your keg anymore. I bet you this didn't last very long at all. This is a really good beer. It's my favorite so far. It's very West Coast. It doesn't, actually, I wouldn't say it doesn't look West Coast because this is kind of what Pliny the Elder looks like. It looks just like this. I mean, it's Pliny the Elder is not very clear. I mean, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you look at my photo. It's me sitting in Russian River Brewing Company drinking a pint of Pliny the Elder, and I hold up the glass and it looks just like this. So I would say this is a pretty good example of a West Coast IPA. It's very hop forward, it's very dank. I'm getting a lot of pininess in this now. So it's dank, it's piney, it's clean. It's almost like since it's only a 6.69, and because it's not as dry as I think Chico yeast would finish out, it's almost like a imperial version of Chico yeast, you know. See, yeah, this is Independence. I think Flagship is their Chico version, Imperials. But damn, this is a good yeast, man. I'm going to use this. Thank you, Gary, for sending this, or thank you to our sponsors for Imperial for, you know, sending us these yeast samples. Wow, this is really nice. Carbonation's perfect on this one. I'm just going to gush a while. Because portly, gentlemen, you and I need to exchange some beers. I don't think we have exchanged beers because I don't remember portly, gentlemen, but we need to. Yeah, we need to, because you know what the hell you're doing. Oh, this is good. Tell you what, I've already gotten my money's worth out of this thing, out of this experiment, because I've had 3 really good beers. I didn't like, you know, Wally's beer as much as the other 2 I've had, just because that 644, you know, from what I know from 644, it's supposed to make the beer kind of tart. I didn't get that on his. I got more of kind of fermentation, high temp fermentation kind of characteristics. And like, I don't know if it was a fusel or phenolic. I have to go back and look it up. But it was that kind of medicinal kind of quality that I got out of it. These, I mean, and I know Wally. I mean, hell, Wally's like the runner-up to the SJ Pour champ. Dude can brew some beer. So something was up with the yeast, and I guess 644 is not my favorite. Although maybe I need to have. I think I've had a beer from Wally before with 644. So I was kind of surprised how that one went. But this thing is just, holy moly, this is good. I am sad this one's gone. And you know what? It's not really gone. There's still some in the bottom. All right. So there wasn't any gunk at the bottom because it looks the same as, you know, the first 16 ounces or whatever it was, 14 ounces I poured in. Oh, thank you so much for sending me a pint of this. I think you and I are kindred spirits. You know, Josh Hoover has brewed my old school, and he actually brewed it recently, and it didn't do too well in the competition he did. I think he used local water. So maybe there's something to this water chemistry thing. I don't know if, you know, let's see, I don't know where Fillmore, California is in comparison to Oceanside, but maybe his water isn't, you know, suited for hop forward beers. I know he does barley wines, but that's a ton of hops, so a ton of malt and everything else. So that's a whole different thing. But maybe he's not, you know, his water's not best suited for kind of West Coast style IPAs or hop forward IPAs. But you know, you using the regular, you know, distilled water with a water chemistry, you know, if you're on near the same water source, you know, had a much different outcome. Because when I brew old school and I don't screw it up, it's super hop forward and usually does well in a comp. And this is freaking killer. God, this is really good. I would like to taste your version of this same recipe scaled up on an Imperial stout. Man, I've been going on for 14 minutes. You can tell I like this thing. I'll have to edit this down so it's not 14 minutes. But I would like to taste, portly gentlemen, you and I are going to have to lock in with this recipe, and I want to taste your Imperial version of this. Because if this is how good the regular version is at 6.69, if you you scaled this up and did an Imperial version, slap your mama good. Holy crap! Cancel school until April 10th, like our state just did, because this thing is a winner. Oh my God, it's good. And this is only what, beer number 3? Man. This right here. Portly gentleman, dude knows what the hell he's doing. Great beer. And great yeast. I think I'm digging me some A15 Independence. Cheers. Okay, this is my second Yeast Experiment beer for today. This is Dennis Penn's Woodshed Brewing Company Yeasty Boys 2020 Yeast Experiment. This was brewed on February 1st. Kegged on February 14th and canned on February 23rd. OG was 1062. ABV was, final gravity was 1015 and the ABV was 6.2. The yeast on this one is Bootleg Biology Brulosophy blend, 64 degrees for 7 days and before cold crashing. This is Dennis's beer. That nice label there. Yep. And another pint. So, let's see. This one seems to be considerably darker, but nice, a little bit darker in the hue on this one. And it's got like that average flocculation, which I chalk this up as chill haze. I don't know anything about this Bootleg Biology Brulosophy blend, so Bootleg Biology. I guess that means the dudes that are part of the Brulosophy chat group maybe conspired and maybe caught some wild yeast and threw it together and, you know, have their own house yeast or something. I don't know. I'll have to read up on that. But anyway, I know Dennis, I think he's commented on my videos a few times. I don't know if I've ever had a beer from Dennis, and I apologize if I have. I don't think I have. I think he just, we comment a lot back and forth, and so it's cool to finally, check out one of your beers. I'm gonna be embarrassed if I've had it before and just didn't realize it. So, all right, well, let's drink off a little bit of this head so I can get you an aroma. All right. Yeah, I'm not getting much on this one. Yeah, I'm not getting much at all. So I'm not really getting much on the aroma. I've already tasted it, so I kind of know what it tastes like, but I'll go ahead and get a taste anyway. It's a clean beer. This one tastes a little drier than the other ones I've tasted. I shouldn't say that. Actually, it tastes kind of on the same par as Wally's beer with the 644. This one, I would say, is more of a malt accentuating yeast, whereas the one I just had was like all about the hop. It was pushing the hop forward. I think there's a lot of character to this yeast, and I think it masks the hops a little bit. And to some, it almost, I don't know if it accentuates the malt, but it, you know, the ABV is a little lower too, so that could have something to do with it. Yeah, I think this is another one. I'm not a big fan of this yeast, this Brulosophy blend. I'm going to have to go back and kind of look into it and see what it was supposed to be doing. I mean, it's a good beer. I mean, it's a, honestly, it almost tastes like a pale ale. I was wondering why it's so dark. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go read up on this one. Not my favorite yeast. Sorry, Dennis. I mean, it's a clean beer. There's no like off flavors or anything like that. It's just, you know, this is that last one I had from Portly Gentleman was a like classic West Coast style IPA. This one, I don't know if the yeast intended to do this. It completely masks all the hops, and it really kind of dominates the malt too. If that's what it's doing. but it's significantly different taste. Aromas, you can almost smell some of the malts on the aroma. So yeah, I guess I mean, I like malts, but in a West Coast IPA with that, you know, hop presence is kind of what you're expecting on that. And this one's just a lot different than the other one. So I don't think I would seek out this yeast. Certainly not for IPAs, because it doesn't seem to be the right yeast to do for an IPA. But anyway, it's good beer. Yeah, it just, you know what it reminds me of? This reminds me of what happened to my final round brew in the last year's SJ Pour 2019. I don't know what I did, but whatever I did, it completely muted the hops. And that's what this is. This, I don't know if it's the yeast, I don't know if it's the water, something went awry in the water chemistry, but something just, I described it as, there's that Stephen King movie where they're up in the air and then something happens. The people that are asleep live, and the people that are awake kind of die, they disintegrate. It's kind of weird. But when they get back on the earth, the colors seem a little grayer. Things don't smell the way they normally do. They're a little off, like bland, and stuff doesn't taste, the air tastes kind of funny. That's what this is like. I don't get the hops. I don't get, it's almost like it almost tastes like a stale beer, I guess is how I would describe it. It seems like this is an IPA that's been on the shelf for a long time. And I know it's not, because I have the date. So something was up either with the water chemistry or the yeast that kind of muted everything out. So, I mean, I get a little bit of aroma on it. But yeah, I don't think this was it just, everything seems flat. Not carbonation. I mean, there's carbonation in it. Yeah, it might actually be oxidized. Now that I think of it, this might be This might be it might be, and that might be why it's a little darker. It might have got oxidized somehow. I don't know if it happened in the canning process but the more I think about it, maybe that's what happened. Yeah, because it does have that kind of cardboard taste. So I'm going to chalk this one up, not knowing anything about the yeast, to this thing somehow got oxidized. That's going to be my theory. So anyway, sorry, Dennis, man. Again, I don't know if it was in the shipping or something in the canning or something, but yeah, I think this thing got oxidized, brother. But anyway, hey, thank you for the entry. And all right, we're down with, what was that, beer 4? Yeah, it was beer 4. Cheers. All right, here we go. This is beer number, I want to say 5. This is Andrew's Imperial A20 Citrus yeast. It has an OG of 1066, a final gravity of 1015, 6.9%. It's about middle of the road. He brewed it on the February 19th. He kegged it on the 26th, and he bottled it on the 28th. So this one was done a little bit later than some of the other ones. So maybe it's fresher. All right, that's lively little pop when I cracked it. Stop there, a little bit of gunk coming in the bottom. Maybe, yeah, I got a little bit in there, sorry about that. Okay, average color on this thing. It's got about a finger head on there. I poured it kind of slightly because most of them have been foaming up, so I wanted to be able to get a better aroma on it. I don't know anything about A20 Citrus, but I'm assuming it's gonna give me citrus quality, so let's go ahead and get a nose. Definitely gives a citrus, and you know, I just had an orange earlier this afternoon, so it definitely gives a citrus note. Matter of fact, it's like the rind, citrus rind, like orange peel. Yeah, let's try to get some more out of it here. Oh yeah. Very, very strong citrus peel aroma on this. If that's coming from the yeast, that's pretty cool. Because I didn't get this on, you know, a couple of the other ones I got malt character. I got some kind of too overly kind of yeasty phenolic. I got strong melon and fruit. This one's a citrus all day long, and it's like a cross, actually, between an orange and a lemon maybe. Very, very cool. Let's go ahead and hey, cheers, Andrew. Let's get a taste. Wow. It says this one finished at 10:15. Man, this seems like it's more like 10:03 or something. It finished really. It reminds me of a Brut IPA actually. It's very lively. Now I know why it popped so. I poured it really carefully. If I didn't, this thing would have had a huge head on it, I think. Man, it's like full of carbonation. It's definitely got super citrus. This yeast, I think, would work much better in a pale ale or really a milkshake IPA or a New England IPA. If I was gonna, matter of fact, I'm gonna actually take this one down because it does have really good citrus qualities. It reminds me of the citrus qualities that you get from the former Ron Mexico. What is it now? Sabro. Used to be HBC 438, I think, or HBC 437, one of the two. But this one, I mean, that one was more, Ron Mexico or Sabro was more Tangerillo, is that the right word? This one is more like orange, like straight up orange, like the orange peel. But I think that if you were to put it in a beer that had a little bit more malt character, kind of like softness, kind of like a New England IPA, that citrus would be really awesome. It's good in this IPA. I think it would be better in a New England or an East Coast IPA. Yeah, next time I do a New England IPA, I think I might look this one up. Imperial A20 Citrus yeast. This is really good. Drinking this, it's not as bitter, and I'm kind of surprised because these things have some pretty good bitterness in them based on the IBUs that we brewed, but I'm not getting like the same bitterness in this one. So I'm just wondering if you ended up with the IBU, the same target IBU. But this thing is like, if I had to describe this beer, it would be like, it's like carbonated. It's like carbonated fresh squeezed orange. Yeah, that's the carbonated freshly squeezed orange. Because I just had an orange like a couple hours ago, and it tastes like somebody squeezed a bunch of the oranges that I had, threw it in a freaking little mini keg and carved it up. That's what this reminds me of. So you definitely got the citrus quality out of it. Not good for a West Coast IPA, because for a West Coast IPA, I generally want more of the piney, resiny kind of quality, and this doesn't have that at all. But it's really tasty. If you think of it not as a West Coast IPA, more of a kind of no coast IPA, or if this thing had a little bit more sweetness, a little more body to it, and was a New England IPA. All right, I guess I've kind of kicked that dead horse, right? Hey Andrew, this is a great beer. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I like this yeast. I like it a lot. Not in a West Coast IPA, but I've got some ideas for some other things on this one. So, hey, cheers to you, brother, and thanks for joining the experiment. Cheers. Hey, what's up, BrewTubers? All right, so this is beer number 6 in the 2020 Yeast Experiment. This is the guy that put all this together. Main brew guy, Gary. Gary, he's one of our nice military heroes down in Florida. I think is his digs, and he put all this together. So first of all, thank you so much, Gary. This has been really fun, and man, all the stuff we got, the hops, the all the extras, and then the amount of beers we got for joining this thing was really cool. He cans his beers. There's a couple of, I've already done a couple of other cans, but we've got a cool label here. He lives in a really cool place down in Florida, and I'm jealous of his weather. But see, so this was brewed on February 8th. It had an OG of 1067. That's about middle of the road. Final gravity of 1016. He used the Maniacal Yeast Juggernaut, fermented at 85 to 90 degrees. Wow, that's pretty warm. Good for Florida, I guess. The ABV is 6.7%. And yeah, and he always puts the government warning on there and everything. It's very cool. I love his labels. Now, one thing about his, and then he talks about how we did the cold crash dry hop rather than the normal warm dry hop. One thing about his, I've noticed from Gary's beers, is you really need to thump the top of the can, because his always are lively and they're very full. So we'll see what happens when I open this thing. Oh, it's still full, but it didn't come flying out. So wow, this thing is clear. Wow, his is completely clean. Yeah, I think everybody's in on this one. That is the prettiest one I think I've seen. Not the biggest head, but the cool thing is the bubbles are like slowly, I don't know if you can see that, but the bubbles are like slowly rising up. The head is nice. It's got very good lacing. Look at that. You're already getting the little layer there, little lacing layer, and I just poured it. The head is like, you know, that sometimes the heads, you can see them and you can see the bubbles. You know, this one is like, when you get the head just right, I describe it like butterbeer from Harry Potter. You know, they have that thick, looks like cream. That's what this stuff looks like. It looks like it could sit here for all day and it wouldn't go anywhere. So it's very, head retention, I guess, is a word that we all use, boys and girls. Let's go in for a nose. Now, again, this is the Maniacal Juggernaut yeast. So let's give it an aroma. I don't know anything about Maniacal Juggernaut. Oh, it smells good. Oh, aroma is freaking rocking on this one. Oh, okay. You got citrus, you got fruit, you got tropical fruit, you got dankness, you got pine resiny, you got all the stuff that I like. It's all in one. This is very complex aroma on this one. Yeah, this thing smells terrific. Damn, Gary, this is good yeast. All right, I'm saving this can, and I am just so I can go find. So Maniacal Juggernaut. Yeah, I need to go find this. This is a freaking bomb. Wow, I can almost just sit here and smell this beer all day long. It smells fantastic. But this one has even a little bit better aroma than Brad's. Brad's had the dankness and everything, but this one not only has the dankness, but it also has this really cool citrus that's like mixed in with the dankness that really, really is my jam. So anyway, all right, enough of the, I'm gonna get to smell this throughout while I drink it. I have gotta taste this one. Cheers, Gary. I hope the taste doesn't let me down because the aroma is fantastic. He knows when I review beers, he's always nervous because I pause and I don't give him any kind of reaction, and I take a second sip before I give him a reaction. I'm doing this for you, Gary. It's for your own good. Okay. My overall impression on this one. The aroma was off the chart, like ridiculous. Best I've detected on the, this is the sixth beer? This is the sixth beer. So I'm halfway through. This is the best aroma by far. I would say that the flavor is still slightly better on Brad's from Portly Brewing. This one is really, really good. It's probably like number 2 right now. The only thing missing on this, it's almost... Actually, you know, I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up. It's kind of a toss-up because this is a West Coast style IPA, and this is kind of what it's supposed to be. I just think that there needs to be a tad bit more malt supporting this thing. I mean, it's supposed to be dry. It's not supposed to be brute dry, but it's supposed to be dry. It is that. It's supposed to have that dank, piney, resinous. That has that, but this one has an additional bright citrus mixed in with the piney, resiny dankness thing, which makes it super complex and very interesting. But on the flavor, although this thing is terrific, it's missing just that slight little kick of malt sweetness that I really like to balance out a good level of bitterness. And I don't think this thing is as bitter. I don't think this thing has the bitter foundation that Portly Gentleman's had. But dude, both these two beers are like super good, super clean. Awesome process, and I saw the video, and I think Gary was brewing with another gentleman in his garage when they brewed this thing. But damn, dude, this is a good beer. The aroma on this thing is sick. It is off the chart good. God, you know, I can just sit here and smell this thing. Whatever, and you use the same hops we did, but you got more of the 4MMP to kind of kick out on the dankness. I mean, I know it's in there because I've smelled it in this one. I've smelled it in Brad's or Portly Gentleman's beer. So I know that dankness, resiny stuff is in there. But it's weird, and maybe it's the yeast that lets some qualities of the essential hop oils through and other ones don't. This one, this Maniacal Juggernaut, it's definitely a hop forward beer. I mean, the hops are coming through, and I think this thing accentuates it. But it gives it like this extra citrus thing, or yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it all plays together. I can't wait to get through the rest of these and see what they do. But nice creamy mouthfeel, perfect carbonation, really tasty beer. This is a freaking awesome IPA. This is one of those kind of beers that if I was to like stroll up and didn't know anything about home brewing, and I tasted one of these things and I'm like, what, you brewed this? Bullshit. You know, no you didn't. And this is one of those. This is that quality. It's really, really good. Yeah, this is awesome. Well, all right, I've gloated enough on you, Gary. Again, dude, thanks for putting this together. Till the next beer, well, I'm not gonna say have a happy homebrew Wednesday because that's for Wednesdays, and this is the Yeast Experiment. So, man, keep driving on with these awesome beers from the Yeast Experiment. Thank you, Gary. Cheers.